Hey, how's it going, you guys? Welcome back to another episode of What's on Our Screen podcast. I am Elio Ramos, and I'm accompanied by my cousin Javier Rivera.
Good evening.
Yay!
Um, yeah, it's Friday.
That is a very true statement. It is Fridays, the end of the week, and there's been a it's been a lot. It's been a lot going on. We'd like to
Is it?
go ahead.
Is it?
Yeah, there's always
I think
stuff
it's.
going. There's always stuff going on.
I don't know.
There's always
Kind of
something.
seem like kind of quiet.
I
A
mean,
little news here and there, but
yeah,
nothing.
but there's always something going on. That's why we do it on Friday because there's something, always something happening. It could be small,
Yeah,
it could be trivial, but it's something happening. You know,
yeah,
it's not always a dead week. I mean,
yeah. We're gonna be like the 24-hour, 7 days and night news cycles. We're gonna stretch it and make
yeah,
just deal of shit stuff.
don't give them the formula to our show. Don't give it away. It's the secret of our show, secret sauce. Speaking of stretching things out, the Miss Marvel trailer
Good
came out. The Miss Marvel trailer.
segue.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, originally the character used to stretch, right? She would stretch her arms and stuff like that. And now they altered it, but the trailer came out. It just seemed I don't know anything about the character. I just know very little enough where I know in the comic books she idolized, the heroes and stuff like that, and she wanted to be one, and she had this ability to stretch her arms, and she was able to make not so much stretch her arms, but like make her hands really big, like make a big fist and maybe stretch a little bit. But it was that like she can create like a big foot and kick people and create like a big fist and punch people kind of thing, and her name was Miss Marvel. And watching the trailer, I didn't know really what to expect. Like I knew that they announced it a couple of years ago, and maybe it was supposed to come out sooner, but now it's coming out now. And yeah, I think there's a place for it, but I just don't. I really don't know what to expect from it because it's such an unknown character. Not a. I personally don't know about it, and I'm sure a lot of other people don't know too much about her. So yeah, I thought it looked fun, and like I thought it looked whimsical, and it's more of a teen story,
yeah.
and a girl, a come to age story, come to age story as they call it. She's just discovering about herself and all that stuff, and about life and about boys and everything, and now she has this kind of power that she stumbles upon, and she has to learn how to wield it and learn to cope with real life and becoming this new hero and everything like that. Just it's the Peter Parker Spider-Man formula, which works out great. So
Yeah.
that's
I think it's
that's pretty much it.
the bracelets he puts on. I think that's the origins of the powers.
Okay.
It looks like because in the comic book she's an Inhuman, so that's why she gets all those type of powers.
Could you touch on that a little bit? For those who don't know,
Um,
like the
Miss
Inhumans and stuff like that.
well, the humans are the civilization that lives in the originally in the Himalayas. There's a secret society there, and they're from the offspring, I think, from the Kree, and they have this Terrigen mist, and they have this ceremony of coming of age where people go into this chamber and the Terrigen mist just transforms them or gives them power. And
Oh,
from there
okay.
you get the royal family like Black Bolt, Medusa, Kraken, forgot the other guys. But yeah, she's from that descendant.
Hmm.
In the comic book, she has more powers like Mr. Fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the trailer looks fun. It's very stylized. There's like a lot of stuff happening in her head, and she's projecting it, so you're seeing through her eyes how
Yeah.
she thinks and stuff. But I think it's fun. It's a little bit like Scott Pilgrim.
Yeah.
Uh, so yeah, it's a teenage coming of age show. It's not for adults. I mean, it has a targeting a specific audience. Um, yeah, people are fighting about her powers, but I mean, the budget for FX on this show, you're gonna stretch her. I don't know, maybe it's that because of special effects stretching, and Mr. Fantastic is still not in the MCU, so
Yeah.
I think it has to do something with that, and special effects, I mean, stretching people, making them look big and stuff, so it could get out of, very expensive, so it's better to be something of a an amulet, and it could tie up into the whole Marvel MCU now. You know, you see these different artifacts like Shang-Chi, the Darkhold, which Wanda has, and Shang-Chi has those bracelets. And now Miss Marvel has these bracelets too that give her powers. So
Oh.
maybe it's tying up into the whole MCU stuff. The new like MacGuffin, you know. Yeah, yeah, it's called MacGuffins. It's like the
Yeah.
Infinity Gems. There were the MacGuffins for 10 years. So
Yeah.
maybe these artifacts are gonna be even the sword from
Mm,
that you see at the end of Eternals, the
yeah.
Black Knight, the sword. You see that like it was moving and stuff. So could
Yeah.
be back or something like that power. So yeah, it looks fine. I mean, it's just it looks enjoyable. I think it's good. It's a show projected more to teenage girls and stuff like that. So
Mhm.
yeah, it looks fun. It looks whimsical and fun. So I don't know why fans are fighting, arguing that's a horrible show or something. I don't know. They had something else in mind. Maybe they wanted Miss Marvel just doing lines of cocaine and just drinking beer and shit like Euphoria. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I haven't seen that show either. I haven't
no, I
touched
haven't
that
seen
show.
it either.
I hear good
But
things. People are raving about it on the
yeah,
interwebs. Like everybody's just going crazy. It's like, when's the new episode coming out? The next episode, and it's like, oh, this is my Euphoria character, or this is my lifestyle. If I wasn't Euphoria, kind of thing. I'm like, geez, chill. Like, and people are saying it's the next Game of Thrones for HBO. I'm like, whoa, that's a big statement. It's a big statement.
well, in drama, it's pretty. Apparently, it's really good. You know, HBO is very good with dramas
Yeah,
and
yeah.
stuff like that. So,
But to call it and claim it like, oh, this is the next Game of
well,
Thrones, like, hmm.
maybe in that a lot of people are watching it.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, because I did see some numbers, some high numbers, and it's gotten like the I think the season opening was like as much as or like one of the
Yeah,
highest
it grew.
season openings
Yeah,
compared to like
from
Game of
season.
Thrones and stuff.
Yeah, from season to season, it grew a lot of an
Yeah,
audience, and I saw a lot of rumble for the last episode. You know, so
yeah. Which is good, like you'd like to see, other shows expand and stuff like that, especially for HBO. They know a lot about that, um but yeah, just touching back on Miss Marvel, I I agree with you with the whole MacGuffin thing. I think that's brilliant. I didn't even think about that, and that just makes total sense. And you kind of blew my mind a little bit with that because there's all these different items, these mystical items or from otherworldly items that have a huge impact on our world and influence our world and created these meta characters and with abilities and stuff like that. So that's really interesting, and I I'd be surprised if they don't go that direction, because it just makes
yeah,
it makes total sense. And also with the Mr. Fantastic, that makes sense as well. Like we only need one stretchy person in here, and that should
yeah.
be Mr. Fantastic.
And
And
it's not that superpowers don't repeat because Iron Man had like three clones of himself, like War Machine
hmm
and Ed Game has
Iron
Pepper Potts
Patriot,
had her own armor.
yeah,
So it's not like but that one is pretty specific,
yeah,
and the effects of it. And I mean, I don't know if it's hard to do the effects of somebody stretching the limbs and stuff, but I think
yeah,
they want to reserve it for the Fantastic Four and not for maybe Miss Marvel because they could say that bracelet is like a family emblem, like they had generations and generation, and she has that inhuman gene and it activates or whatever.
yeah.
So you know, and if you play the Avengers, she's like her storyline is pretty good in the Avengers video game.
Are you talking about that?
Yeah, Square the
Yeah,
Avenger game that came.
that just recently
So
came out. Yeah, it took me a second. Yeah,
her story was really good because you see her she's a very fanboy of the Avengers and stuff like that. You see through her eyes the how she looks at the Avengers and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I think what that game is that Square Enix and Disney wanted a lot of they wanted Destiny 2 in it, and for some reason halfway the game they started introducing all these multiplayer things. It kind of takes away from the game. So, but her
Yeah.
storyline that she's trying to unite again the Avengers is decent and pretty good.
Yeah. No, that's. I haven't touched that game. I haven't. I mean, I saw the first trailer of that game and I was not impressed whatsoever. It just
Yeah,
didn't. And then I saw gameplay footage of the game and I still was not impressed. Just
yeah. The art design on it is not very good, but
no.
there's some good moments in that game where it looks like it's Crystal Dynamic was really doing a single player game, but they
Yeah.
just intersect these missions that, oh, you have to do this on, like, oh my god, just let me get through the story.
Yeah. No,
But it
I
was the art design, it just never looked good. They were trying to imitate the actors from the movies and not the comic book.
yeah, which is always like Fortnite does such a good the
Yep.
Epic Games, they do such a good job with like the character designs and stuff like that. Ah, man, I wish that they would give them the IP, to be able to create their own game and
I
just do like
wouldn't.
a Marvel game.
They're not
Cause
doing any games. They're just doing Fortnite. That's it.
yeah,
Yeah.
but they should attempt to branch out because I think they have the chops to do it and to create something
Why?
very special. I don't know, man. It'd just be interesting to see them to do something
That
else.
game is doing billions of dollars for
Oh,
them.
absolutely,
So
yeah.
why would they just
Yeah, no, no doubt.
stop doing that?
Hmm.
They're like, what? What? You want me to not make money? It's like,
I'm just saying they can do it in their own realm, in their own space. I mean, they don't have
they
to
had other
recreate
games
the engine.
when Fortnite got into the scene and it just exploded. They had another first person arena shooter and they canceled it. They're just, yeah, we're gonna cancel this. Here's the waste all your money and oh, you want the arts? Yeah, you can have it for free. It's we don't
Wow.
care. Yeah, so
Yeah, I didn't know about
Epic
that.
Epic is doing just Fortnite and their store. That's it. It's like Valve. Now they're never gonna do Half-Life 3. So
Yeah. Well, still, it would be interesting to see them make a Marvel game because their art design on all the characters is just spot on. They freaking crush it. So
yeah.
I'd love to see them do something else, even something short, something simple. It would be great. But moving on to another section of Disney, the Star Wars. So
Ooh.
I finally got a chance to watch the Obi-Wan Kenobi trailer, and I have to say I was it was nostalgic. I watched it a couple times because it's not that long, but it was definitely nostalgic. You get Obi-Wan Kenobi there in the beginning, and you see where he's at, where he's coming from. You see little young Luke Skywalker, and then you kind of get a glimpse of the world and how things are falling apart. But then you see the Inquisitors and what their task is, and I feel like they're about to do like a Boba Fett kind of thing where it's the story of Obi-Wan, but it really is about the Inquisitors and how Obi-Wan is dealing with the Inquisitors. And on top of that, it's a limited series, so I don't think it's gonna be. I think this is it. It's a one and done. So I just feel like it's gonna be completely robbed. Like we're gonna see Obi-Wan, yeah, but it's just gonna be like an Inquisitor story and how they're hunting down Jedi's and how Obi-Wan is just trying to keep his presence low. Trying to keep his appearance. You know, I don't know, just trying to keep his profile. That's what I was looking for. His profile low, and I think it's going to be a lot of paying tribute to like Rebels, the animated series, and other moments in those Clone Wars animated series. But that's about it. And I don't see how this all fits. Like, what would have been cool if they would have done like an anthology storyline where we see Obi-Wan right afterwards. It's like 6 episodes, right? Obi-Wan's right after the fall of the Jedi Order and the Temple and all that stuff. Right after Episode 3, what happened to him, and then uh second episode is Obi-Wan dealing with like other situation, and he keeps getting older and older, and then at the end, it leads right up to the New Hope storyline. But then also inside of this anthology, it would have been interesting to see him fight Darth Maul and see that fight scene that was originally in Rebels come to life, and that would have been fantastic to see. Was it in Rebels, or was it the last? No, it was in Rebels.
Rebels.
Yeah. So it would have been nice to see that come to life. Just see these moments of this character, since it's a limited series. Just really double down on Obi-Wan and focus on him and what he dealt with and struggled with, and how he got the children to, like, the whole thing with Luke Skywalker going to Tatooine. I know we saw it at the end of episode 3, but just give us a little bit more of that kind of thing, and that's what I would think. For me, that would have been more interesting as opposed to what's about to happen with the Inquisitors. Now, granted, it's just it's a visual trailer. You're not getting much of the story there, but you kind of get a gist of what's gonna happen. The Inquisitors hunting down Jedi's, Darth Vader's their boss, and then eventually they're going to run into Obi-Wan, and Obi-Wan has to keep them silent. So I just think it's going to be this long-winded, series or few episodes of him just trying to keep them away from Luke, kind of thing. I'm pretty sure that there's going to be a moment where an Inquisitor senses Luke Skywalker, and Obi-Wan has to, like, present himself and freaking distract them from going towards Luke and take them down a rabbit hole that it's like, oh, it's me, it's not this kid, it's me, kind of thing. So that's what I think is going to happen. And I don't know, I feel like Disney's just trying to milk all these old characters as much as possible, and like how they brought in Cad Bane in the Book of Boba, and then they kill him off. Cad Bane didn't look quite like the animated show. Like, I think they could have done a better job, but I understand why they approached it the way they did. For the guy's nose, the actor's nose is actually up here, so there's going to be like a bump there. But still, like, you're the art department, you could totally make it as close as possible to the actual thing. I mean, it's not, and you can add CG afterwards. And you're Star Wars. You've been throwing money at these projects for like years. What's a little bit more to extend his face and make him look accurate? And it's the same thing that's happening with the Inquisitors. There's that very famous Inquisitor that's fighting there, and you see him in the trailer, and he just looks like, I don't know. It feels like they're dropping the ball in the art department, in the something that I think if Guillermo del Toro did like a Star Wars series or movie, you would see the art department really flourish, and you see these characters have a lot of texture and stuff like that. I feel like that's what these shows are lacking, and they're just not really hitting the nail on the head with these characters, unfortunately. And at least that's for me. But that's my rant right there with Star Wars, with like Obi-Wan Kenobi and everything like that. I'm not too thrilled with it. I'm not really excited. The first time I watched it, I got my nostalgia goosebumps. I'm like, oh, sweet. Like, we're seeing Ian McGregor again, as Obi-Wan Kenobi. That's awesome. But then afterwards, after watching it again, I'm like, this sucks. Like, I say it sucks because I think I'm going to be disappointed with it, So.
So yeah, it's another show on a desert planet.
Yeah.
Like, they shouldn't call it Star Wars. It could be Tatooine Wars.
Yeah.
They're just milking one planet. I don't know. I don't have no faith in Star Wars.
Yeah, that poor planet.
I'm tired of the old characters. Like 30, 40 years watching these old characters, what new characters, new timelines and stuff, and I'm just tired of them. I already know what Obi-Wan just sacrificed themselves with Vader and New Hope. I don't care what happened in the middle. Just a second arc. He's not gonna die. He's not gonna get a scar in his face. You know, nothing's gonna happen to Luke, so nothing's gonna happen to Leia. So
Yeah.
there's no conflict in there for me.
Yeah.
No, what? Nothing. It's just
Yeah.
his end. So even with Luke Skywalker, when that golem appears on screen, that CG lifeless, soulless monster that they created, and he appears in the screen. I'm like, yeah, yeah, sure. I saw him in Empire, and he dies on a planet, casting magic to some other planet. So whatever. So the fans, they just love the nostalgia and just start crying. And
Yeah.
I'm writing a pitch right now, so for them, I want to do a limited series on the Sarlacc pit on Tatooine. An anthology series. See
Yeah.
who else fell in there.
Yeah, that actually sounds like a lot of fun. Like it'd be really funny just to have like these high-end actors or whatnot, like these AAA actors just jump in there.
Yeah,
I'm like,
yeah.
come on, man, like these comedians and everything like that. Jabba, listen, there's no need. And it's just like small segments. It's like dude, it'd be brilliant because they're like short 15-minute segments, and,
Yeah.
and they're just kind of like fighting for their lives, and then eventually they fall into the
You think
Sarlacc
that
pit.
Jabba the Hutt was an ecologist? He didn't like people throwing trash in the sand, and they just throw them people. He just threw them into the Sarlacc pit.
Man, this sounds like a Key and Peele skit or something, man.
You know, I
That's
wouldn't.
awesome.
I wouldn't be surprised if Disney does it.
Yeah,
Like make him a tragic character, the Sarlacc pit.
yeah. You heard it
He
here
doesn't.
first, love.
Yeah, he's a vegetarian, but people keep dropping meat inside of him. So,
Oh man. Oh man.
oh yeah,
That
I
would
don't
be.
know. I don't care about Star Wars.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's unfortunate the direction that they're going with and stuff like that. It's gonna take them a while before they finally figure it out, and it's gonna take people like us to pitch them fresh ideas.
Well, there was a news this week. I forgot that Damon Lindelof apparently is writing a Star Wars show.
Really?
Yeah,
That's the guy who wrote
leftovers.
Leftovers, yeah.
Watchmen. So that's interesting.
Yeah, but he's got chops. He's got
Yeah,
chops.
you got chops. You got chops. Let's see if Disney wants those chops.
Yeah. Let's see if Kathleen Kennedy wants those chops, because
No, it's not Kennedy. She found the perfect formula for the fans. Nostalgia. That's it.
yeah.
Just be careful. I wouldn't look. I wouldn't pass them that halfway during Obi-Wan, Mandalorian pops up with the baby, and because they that's what they do when their shows are not working. They just Mando and whatever the gremlin monster thing.
Grogu.
Come on, let's go. Oh yeah, whatever.
The Gremlin thing.
Come on, it's your time. Help the ratings get up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's what I think Darth Vader is for in this series.
I would not pass them. They put that green motherfucker in this show, in Obi-Wan. Remember, he's 50 years old, so he was in the temple. So he's flying somewhere during during the Obi-Wan show. So
Yeah. My God, yeah,
I
you're right.
would bet that Obi-Wan is the one who rescued him and was protecting him, sent them somewhere safe.
Oh my God, you're right, dude.
Look at your sad face. Just go like, oh no.
No, yeah, you're right, man. You're right. Watch it be that. Watch him be the one who saved Grogu.
No.
And he put Grogu there, and it was just like a
Inquisitors
protocol.
are gonna grab him, and Obi-Wan saves him.
Oh my God, yeah, because there's that line in the trailer, like the Jedi don't know, they leave a trail of goodness wherever they go, like you could find their trail, like they can't help but to be who they are. And the Inquisitors are gonna find the baby Grogu, and Obi-Wan Kenobi's gonna intervene, take him out, and Yeah, and yeah, it's Grogu and Obi-Wan. The Obi-Wan and Grogu. We figured it out. That's it. You did it, Primo. You did it. That's crazy, man. You're absolutely
Yeah.
right.
Well,
Oh
how
my
much you
god.
bet that you're gonna see stupid fans crying on the internet? Oh my god, I never expected this. Oh my god, Obi-Wan with Go, whatever his name is.
Grogu, Grogu. Oh my goodness, dude. That's just yeah, ah that actually hurts a little bit because I think that's what's gonna happen. I think that's exactly what's gonna happen. Grogu's gonna pop out and it's gonna be Obi-Wan who saved him. And that's gonna be that.
Yeah,
Dang. That's
there's gonna
super
be a lot of
deflating.
Jedi's, a bunch of Jedi's sacrificing their lives for this green thing.
Yeah. But didn't Grogu have like a vision of the Academy
Yeah,
in this last
but I
episode?
mean, his life after the academy. So he's been bouncing around.
Yeah. But didn't he have a vision of the Academy, right? He had
I don't know. I don't watch the show,
I
man.
think he did. I think he did. He had a vision of the Academy and what happened to him, but then oh my god, I do it. This that's crazy. It just makes sense now.
Yeah,
You kinda
they're gonna fuse like Goku and Vegeta. They're just gonna fuse the nostalgia of Obi-Wan
yeah.
and this green monster that people just cry when he's on screen. So they're just gonna fuse them together, and you're just gonna get this overload of emotions, and you're gonna have this urge to record yourself crying.
Baby Grogu. Oh man. What are they doing? It just makes sense. It makes sense in my mind. It just I'm a bit deflated now. I'll actually be happy if he doesn't appear. Cause then they just Grogu was just a big
They can't
coincidence.
help themselves. They just want to sell a lot of toys.
But you're right, they can't help
They're gonna
themselves.
sell that packet with Obi-Wan and Grogu on his side.
Oh man. Oh man.
Oh well, Rick cracked the code.
Dadgummit. Star Wars is dead. Honestly, if Grogu appears there, man, I just yeah, it's dead. Star Wars is dead. Cause that just wow. Wow. Well, let's switch over to another trailer that actually has me really pumped and excited. Sonic the Hedgehog 2. My God, does that look good? I love the first one. I love the trailer, and I love the fact that they listened to the fans in the first one. Sonic did not look right. He looked freaking destroyed, dysfunctional, like he was broken. He just looked he looked like a really bad meme. That's what he looked like. But now after they fixed him, man, that movie is spectacular, dude. The voice acting is superb. And then at the end, they revealed that Tails was going to be there. And then this trailer with Jim Carrey reprising the role as Dr. Egg Robotnik, with the mustache and the bald head, and man, they're just crushing it, dude, crushing it. It just looks so good, and the kid inside of me is so excited. I would love to see Golden Sonic, and I think they might do like a big reveal in the middle of it because he's fighting Knuckles, and you didn't see Knuckles until Sonic the Hedgehog 3. And everybody's like, "Ooh, who's this Red Sonic? Who's this Red Sonic?" It's like he's not Red Sonic, he's Knuckles. And man, that was awesome because Knuckles could climb with his knuckles. He just like would climb and then just jump over, and he could just kind of like glide a little bit and then just, you know. But now they've kind of fused the two games together, so their Gold Sonic has to appear in this movie. Just has to appear. I don't know how they'll do it, but it just has to happen. And now they're including the gems in there and they're including it with like dimension travel and everything like that. It's like, oh, they're just hitting all the right cylinders for me because I freaking love all that dimensional stuff and traveling and all that jazz. And then Sonic is such a great character, and man, I think they just captured the essence of him, and this trailer just looked fantastic. I was just completely breathtaking. I was seeing Tails in there too, his partner, and then them on the airplane, Tails airplane, and he's come on, man, come on. It's so good. Like on part two of Sonic the Hedgehog, the video game, you know, there's that part where he's like on top, Sonic's on top of the airplane, and he's like destroying things and stuff like that. And man, and that was like a co-op game too. Um, at the time, it was like the Mario Luigi kind of thing. It was great. I love Tails. Like that was the one game where I was happy to be the second player. Like I was like, yes, I am Tails. This is awesome. Just love the concept of Tails, man. And it was, and he had two tails, and that was like the number two on the thing. And I don't know if you've seen the poster of them like recreating the original Sonic the Hedgehog 2 cover. Oh man, they just, yeah, they're hitting the nostalgia buttons, but they're doing it right, you know. And daggum it, I'm excited for that. I'm so excited for that. It looks like it's gonna be a blast, and I can't wait to jump back into that universe and see Sonic do all his things. And he's very comedic, you know. He's just man, they crushed it. They crushed it. I'm excited. I'm super biased, as you could tell. I'm stoked. Primo, your thoughts. Your thoughts on that.
Hmm.
Oh no.
Oh,
Oh
oh,
no,
my.
whatever, dude. It's
Oh,
so good. It's
um,
so good.
oh yeah. What's the other news on the docket?
Oh no, dude. Sonic the Hedgehog, man. It's so good.
I still can't believe that stupid game has fans. That's so, it breaks my mind. It's such a bad game, and it's just
I
it
mean,
has the worst jump button. It's just
it's
it's a
tough.
horrible game.
It's a
It's
tough
I
game. Like
don't know.
the first one was
I mean,
tough.
even Sega doesn't know what to do with Sonic. Last game, I think they tortured him. Apparently, the storyline, they tortured him for 20 years or something like that. I
Damn.
mean, they don't even know what to do with Sonic.
Poor
So,
Sonic, Jesus.
yeah, yeah. I don't
They
care.
broke his
Who cares
ankles
about Sonic?
and repaired it.
Yeah,
Poor
I don't know.
Sonic.
I got a good nap here where you were talking about Sonic. So.
Oh man. Whatever. I love Sonic, man. It's a hard game. Like Sonic Pinball, that was a fun game, but that was also tough. But yeah, I think they just kind of auction them out to Nintendo now. Whatever. There's like Sonic Racing with Mario as well, and then there was
That's the
what-
Olympic Games that you're talking about.
yeah, that's no, but there was
I
a
think-
Sonic Racing like
I
go
think you
kart.
give you give $10 to Sega and they give you the character. You can do whatever.
Yeah, I think that's true.
It's a
'Cause
worthless franchise.
I don't think it's worthless. I mean, it's got a
Yes, it
movie off
is.
of it. They got a movie off
Yeah.
of it, so
When was the last good game? Genesis. That's it.
I mean, yeah, maybe,
Yeah.
I mean,
It's like people asking for Silent Hill. What was the good game? The first two, and that's it. And
That's
afterwards, it just went downhill. And
I
now
don't-
you're, what was it?
don't
You
know.
know, you have to turn to Silent Hill. And no, you don't. It was a bad game. I didn't know
man,
what to do.
I don't know about it. Was the first
The
two were
first
really
two were
good. They're
Okay,
scary,
but
super
afterwards,
scary.
it just went. Yeah, it went downhill.
Well, it's like I don't know. Resident Evil kind of had that same thing where Resident Evil 1 and 2 were
Oh man, yeah,
really
6 was
good.
awful.
Three was I didn't like Nemesis whatsoever. I thought Nemesis was a waste of time. 4 was just like a revitalization of the franchise. 5 was like, okay, it's an interesting approach as a co-op mode and stuff like that. That was fun.
It was more of an action game than anything else.
Yeah, 5 was an action game, but 6 was
Oh,
just
man.
an abomination, man.
Yeah,
That was just so bad. So bad. They should have made that 6 should have been made into like an animated movie. That's what 6 should have been. And
no,
I just 7 was an interesting, they were trying to compete in that whole horror market. And I think 8 is I think 8 is a good cross between the original. It's a good cross between Resident Evil 4 and Resident Evil 7. You know, like they meet in the middle and it turns back into like an action horror kind of thing. But it's I played the trailer, not the trailer. I played the demo of it, and I was just pretty hooked. I was just like, oh, I'm gonna keep playing. So but I think that franchise doesn't. Both of those franchises, Silent Hill and Resident Evil, they both have had movies, but they don't compare to the Sonic the Hedgehog movie, you know? So the Silent Hill movie was decent, But those
That's
Resident
the
Evil
only
movies.
that's the only argument you have for
I'm just
Sonic?
I'm just saying I'm just saying
Compared
like
to bad movies from
I'm just
Resident
saying
Evil and
out of
Silent
all of
Hill?
those who's had the most successful movie, and that would
Wow,
be
you
Sonic.
convinced me. Wow, yeah.
I'm just saying out of all of those who's had the most successful movie, and it's been the Sonic franchise. One can
Uh-huh.
argue a good and a bad game for all of them, but it's Sonic, man. He's like the
I think
Mario of Sega.
fans are more fan of the animated series than the game. Because
What
that
are we
was
talking about?
more the fandom of Sonic is more about the animated show they had in the I think in the early 2000s and stuff like that.
Well, there's a couple animated shows. 'Cause one,
Yeah, so I think it's more about that than the video game. I don't because a lot of young people are fan of Sonic and never played Sonic. It's like
yeah, I see your point, but Sonic is there. It's more my generation that's big fans of Sonic. There is a point there. I'd say my generation are the Sonic buffs, and then the younger generation, they probably know Sonic through maybe Smash Bros or something like that, or some other Sonic game. But I mean, they've been creating Sonic video games, developing it throughout the years, so there is a fandom. It's been catered to like the next generation. But I mean, I could see your point where it's the animated series, but those animated series weren't that great though. They were decent. There was like maybe a handful of versions where
yeah,
they
but
looked
if you're
solid,
young
but
enough, you don't care about that. You just care about the so
yeah. I mean, I guess there's a point on both ends because I didn't really watch
it's
the animation at all.
one of those fandoms that I never get. Like,
Yeah.
why are you fan of the video game or the cartoon or the manga? What was it? You like?
Yeah. It's like Kirby, like
Yeah, I never played a Kirby game.
I've played a couple of them, but I just never this new Kirby game that just came out. I think that's going to be great, and
Tried the demo.
I think that's going to be a lot of fun, and it's like open world and stuff like that. And I'm finally glad that Nintendo's bringing out these characters, but um, yeah, just never. He's a puffy little ball and he just absorbs other creatures' abilities and stuff. So there were some Kirby games for the Game Boy that were just spectacular. It looked really good.
Game Boy. So I don't have that attachment to Kirby. I
Uh,
downloaded the demo for the new game, the 3D one.
yeah.
Oh, it's not installed anymore on my Switch. That's all I have to say.
But at least was it? I mean, the open world and all that stuff. That must have been
He's just started sucking up things and turning into them.
all
And you
right.
suck the car and you try to drive the car and
He
I'm
tried.
like, I'm meh. I'm just okay. I'm gonna install this, wasting space here on this stupid demo.
Oh my god. Oh man. Yeah. No.
Let's say it's not Elden Ring. Okay, so
Well, no. That is true. Elden Ring has just completely. They just announced that it was
12 million.
yeah, 12 million copies sold worldwide, and I mean, there's probably more now, but that was the last report.
Yep.
That's impressive, man.
Just wait until it goes on sale and they release an expansion pack.
Yeah.
They release the yearly, they added the director's cut or whatever the hell they're gonna release and
I mean,
can sell more.
that game is freaking long, dude. I haven't even scratched the surface on that thing, and they're already talking about
Yeah, I expect expansion packs for it.
because I don't know.
There's an update that came out today, I think.
Oh,
Today? Yes.
I don't know.
No, tonight. Today it came out. Yesterday.
I heard that there was
I think
a patch for the PC that nerfed some of the OP weapons.
no, it was all consoles.
Oh, it was just consoles?
Yeah, all the consoles. Even the
Oh,
consoles.
oh,
They faced some quests and some weapons that weren't scaling well, and some of the weapons that were overly OP for no reason. So
uh,
I think they nerfed that summon the mimic. I think they
yeah, I saw that. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So that's unfortunate. That's unfortunate because some of these things I own and I just wasn't able to bring out the full potential of it and stuff like that. So that's always unfortunate. But you know, it is what it is. I think if there's an advantage for the user, just leave it in there. You know, but if there's an advantage for the
Yeah, that's
game,
what people are saying. It's
you know,
like
just fix that.
the single player. If you nerf it for PvP, okay, when people invade, but for your storyline, fuck it.
Yeah, I totally agree. Like that makes no
Just give me
sense.
an option where I press A and just a nuclear bomb just go all over the place.
Yeah, I would totally love to have that. But yeah, man, the game's been great. I
Yeah,
don't,
you've been into that game for weeks now.
man, yeah, I
Is it
haven't put it down, dude. It's just I like the idea of just constantly leveling up and grinding and everything and just being OP
more?
and
And exploring the world. It's like so
yeah.
fun. There's no there's a storyline, but it's just like it's like Berserker in some ways. It's like there's bad guys down there, and you just walk over there and just slash everybody.
Yeah.
That's it. And you keep
Yeah.
walking. Then all of a sudden you're in a school of magic, and you're just more bad guys. Okay, like chop chop.
Yeah. No, I agree with that. It's that addicting factor, like what's over the bend, you know, like what's like I made it this far, what's down here? And then what's down here?
Yeah,
And the thing is like the world is so massive and there's so many different ways to get to one location. And
yeah.
it just
And they fast because you're like, I wonder what's in that door. Can't open it now, but I wonder what it is in there.
yeah. And they get
They
you too
just
with
gave
these
you
shiny things, these like small
yeah.
shiny things that are right over there, and like a pack of wolves are surrounding it. It's like, I bet I don't need that, but I want it. It's shiny, and you go over there, and it's just like some porqueria, and you're like, worth it. You start galloping away from the freaking wolves.
You see a bunch of dragons there, and just this hanging body with a light, and you're like, I wonder what he left there.
There's a dragon in front of it. It's got to be
Is
good.
it worth? Yeah.
Yeah, man. No, I love the game. Like I wouldn't be surprised if they try to do some type of like animated show or some way of like telling the story of what story there is in there, because it's two
I tell
fingers,
you,
two fingers talking to you, bro. Like someone was high when they wrote that down. It was like they were watching the fingers. They're like, "Hi." It's like, "Oh,
I have
brilliant."
actually I have an idea. You know these animes that are always popping into these online worlds, like Sword Online.
Oh yeah,
Instead of an MMO, they just go into a version of Elden Ring. And it's just like, oh, we're special. Look, and you're like, nah, they just get slaughtered.
that's dark. But yeah, no, that would be interesting.
I'm special. I have a sword. Nope.
Nope. And that's the thing, man. That game humbles you. There's humbling experiences around every corner in that game. Just humbling experience. You think you got everything on lock. You think you're good, and your confidence is through the roof. And then all of a sudden, you go into this dungeon that you didn't mean to. You take a wrong turn somewhere, and there's a homeboy with a crossbow that's shooting you with fireballs, and you can't do anything.
And then sometimes it's just these little monsters. You're bigger than them, like 2 or 3 times taller than them. And you're like, one slash, I'll get you. And they just one shot you. Like
That's so true, man. Like you get to a point where you're OP, and you know that you can, with a couple slashes, you got them. But when they attack you, when they hit you, oh man, you feel your whole soul just like just reverberate. You're like, oh sweet Jesus. And they get on you, man. Sometimes they're just so aggressive. They don't even give you a break, and their attacks are so differently timed. So they'll do like the sweeping attack, and then pause, and then do like a stabbing attack, and you're just like, come on, sweet baby Jesus.
Some of the attack patterns are sneaky. Like spin 2 times, and you're like, okay, I got you. Spin 2 times, and then next time is spin 3 times.
Yeah.
And the third one, the tail is more longer has more reach.
Oh yeah, no man, that's the worst, dude. I've gotten caught by that stupid tail so many times. There's this knight that has like he grows wings and grows a tail.
Oh
and,
yeah, I know.
and he just starts to fly everywhere, trying to stab you with his
Yeah.
long blade. And then all of a sudden, he starts to try to sweep your legs with his tail, and that tail is just only grows for a certain length, and you're like, okay, I got the tail. But then at the last second, when you think you're about to beat him, that tail just extends and goes whop, and you're over here thinking you're in the safe zone. That tail just starts whack whack whack, just starts doing a freaking tornado attack on you. Ah, man, so many disappointing moments in that video game. That game scares the crap out of me, breaks my heart. It does everything, man. It does
Yeah.
everything.
You can't stop playing it though.
No, no, and that's the thing. Like I don't know if I don't know.
I think this is the game of the year. I mean, I don't see any other game. Starfield, I
Mm,
don't think that's the big question, right? Starfield, um,
yeah.
coming out in November.
Mm-hmm.
See if it has the chops to take down Elden Ring.
Yeah.
But I think like this Horizon Forbidden West, like people like drop that game. It's still so well, but a lot of people have a lot of criticism of the game, and it just felt more of the same. And I think God of War Ragnarok is gonna happen. It's gonna have that effect too. Like it's more of the same,
Mm,
which is not bad. It's a good game, but it's not. You know, you already played it, so kind of like
yeah. If they don't, yeah, no, you're right. If they don't change anything up on God of War, I mean, there should just be. You should start off with the Blades of Chaos since you got them
yeah,
already, um, and you should start off with different abilities. Just just make that fighting mechanic a little bit smoother, because it's pretty stiff in my opinion. I still consider it a really strong game, a very powerful story above everything else. But when you put on the Blades of Chaos in that game, the game just makes sense, and you're kind of more fluid, and you can move like the Kratos that we know, and I feel just because he's wielding an axe, he shouldn't change all that fluidity. Like the axe comes back to him, so there should be more movement. Actually, he should be dashing and dodging and grabbing people, punching them, stabbing, just breaking them apart, bringing that axe back. But in the game, he's not that fluid. He's kind of stiff with that axe. He's like, huh, huh, throw the axe, huh, you
it
know.
feels like a first person game.
Yeah, yeah, it really does. And I hope that they transition that, and they completely change that and just go back to.
No, it's already locked. Yeah.
Yeah, no, but I think they could tweak it. I mean, it's just put the
They just
same.
need they just need a better button for you to spin around to get the person that is going to attack you from
Yeah,
behind. It just the D pad is not organic enough for you to go like maybe one bumping one of the sticks or something like that.
yeah. Or just even give you like a sensing, like a sixth sense kind of thing. He is a god of war, so he should have some sense that just like, hey, you're about to get attacked, and like if you like time it, like the Batman games, you time it properly, or the Shadow of Mordor, you time it properly, you hit the Y button and he blocks it and does a counter. Same thing here, just tap it, time it. But the thing is, like, the window is kind of small, but if you time it, you get used to that. Just bang, that could be so cool, for him to do that. And it'll definitely, that, I think that alone would really help out with the fighting mechanics to give you that edge, because you're right, there's so many people fighting you all around, and you can only be locked onto one target at a time. So for you to look around and everything like that, it's just, there's, and he doesn't move like he used to, and he's like, he,
Oh,
yeah,
oh,
so I agree.
talking about video games, you saw the Hogwarts Legacy from the video game? Harry.
Yes. Oh, I'm so glad you brought that up. My goodness, I watched that the other day. I was just blown away. I think the uh, uh, Hogwarts fans and Harry Potter fans are just gonna fall in love with this game, and they're just gonna dive deep into this world because it just looks so immersive. And I think
Yeah.
for the first time ever, we're finally getting that true Harry Potter experience that we've always wanted. And they put it in such a time frame where they can play and manipulate and
Yeah.
mold, where it doesn't really affect the original IP at all.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
It's the 1800s.
yeah, but the thing is, the brilliant thing is that they tie into small little verbiage that the book says,
Yeah.
like, oh, such and such from this date, and then they have it there, in the game. So it's oh, it's so well done, man. I watched that presentation twice. Like I was just blown
I hope
away.
I hope they can. The thing is that you can have all those ideas,
Hmm.
like, oh, you have to create friends and you have to attend them and social links, and you're gonna have to do this story and explore Hogwarts and all the open world and stuff like that. The thing is that you have to gel all that stuff to work
Hmm.
because they include you see in that game, it looks like, okay, this is Persona 5. They took inspiration from that.
Mm.
In the school, they took inspiration from this Rockstar game that is in the high school,
Oh,
Bully.
Bully, yeah.
Yeah, they took inspiration from that Persona. Uh, Combat looks like from a little bit from the Batman style of game because you see a lot of
Mm.
counters and stuff.
Yeah.
So I think you program spells already into your attack, and I see a lot of that, or maybe from Shadow of Mordor has the same thing,
That would be
like the
cool.
same combat. Yeah. So, but yeah, I'm super intrigued, man. The art design looks incredible,
Yeah.
very Harry Potter.
Hmm.
This castle just looks. I just want to explore the castle.
Yeah.
So yeah, it just looks It looks fantastic. I just hope they can gel everything together very well. But
Yeah.
even if it's just good, I hope it just propels them to a sequel that everything just go. Yeah, it looks like a big game.
Hmm.
And this company, I don't think they've ever done a game this big. So
Yeah. But
so I hope it works.
I see it getting like expansions. I think that they'll sit on this one for a little bit and expand it with like other missions and other capabilities and stuff like that, and other areas to explore and stuff, and other puzzles to do inside of Hogwarts. So I think that they can sit on this for quite some time before they bring out the sequel. Um, but there were some things, because watching that extended trailer,
Yeah, it even has stuff from the Fantastic Beast that you have like the same place to keep the beasts and the animals and stuff.
yeah, yeah,
You're like that's a lot for a video game. I don't
yeah.
know if you can just. I know they delayed this game a couple times, so and they said a holiday 2022 is like it could be holiday, but could be
Yeah.
2023.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's true. Like there's a lot of elements in there that as much as the nostalgia factor that I think the Harry Potter fans are gonna have, and they're gonna love this game because of it, and they're finally getting injected into the universe of Harry Potter, like so immersive, like they've always wanted. I'm afraid of the combat system. It kind of looked questionable to me. Like it didn't seem as fluid as that demonstration was in the extended trailer that we saw. It just wasn't. I wasn't 100% sold on it. I feel like it's a bit clunky. Like, because you're flipping that wand and you're trying to do these things, and then you got to
Yeah.
counter over here. It just didn't. The fighting
That's why I'm
mechanics
telling you.
didn't
That's why I'm
seem to
telling you that it
match.
looks like Shadow of Mordor. The attack
Yeah.
uh, is the counterattack, and I think you can link spells into. I what I saw, I said, this looks like you like Batman type of combat from the Arkham
Mm-hmm.
City. The attack, counter, attack, counter, attack, B move.
Yeah.
Whatever special. It looks like something like that.
Yeah. And if that's the case, then the fighting mechanics it's gonna be solid, because that fighting system I think is probably one of the best
But
ones I've
they
seen in
have to
video
they have
games.
to grade it. They have to like because you usually in these all the fights in Harry Potter is from distance. They're never
Y-
hand to hand combat.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
applying that type of fighting for distant fighting. So I don't know. Let's see if it works.
Yeah, because that's just one of my concerns right there, was that one. And then the other thing was, now that you brought up Bully and Persona 5, two games that I've never played before, um, the whole classroom situation, because I'm
Yeah.
gonna be like, oh, I want to explore the castle. Oh, but you got to go to class. You're gonna be late. So I just think that the whole classroom thing, it's either gonna be part of the story, and you eventually get there when you get there, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like
I
GTA
say
kind of games.
Persona. I say Persona because Persona games, you have a school year calendar.
Yeah.
So each day you know, you have to go to school. Sometimes you have to take tests, and the test or they ask you questions or stuff, and you hang out with your friends on the school after school. So certain days, like after school, you have like you can do stuff in Persona.
Yeah.
That's you know, it's not that big as this game. It's more menu based a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
but certain when you have free days, then you can go out and you have the whole day to uh to explore and do different things and stuff like that. And if you hang out more with certain friends, so you have more affinity with them during combat, they unlock new abilities and stuff. That's in the in Persona, but this one, let's see if that's why I'm telling you, there's a lot of systems they're trying to implement,
Mm-hmm.
and that could get very messy. So
Yeah. No, I see that. I see that as well. Okay, so that makes sense because they were talking about like potions and stuff like that, potion class.
yeah,
So maybe each individual class you can, if you like you said, if you spend more time in said class, you can probably build up your affinity for it and become stronger as a potion master or a sorcerer of against the dark arts kind of thing and everything. And but there's also other classes like you can level up certain abilities and there's cards and stuff like that. And then there's a whole area that you can customize to be your own place, like your place of solitude, and you can go there and you have like a pet that you can groom. You can have a garden, like a house and everything. And it's
that's
just,
why I'm telling you. That's a lot of
yeah,
systems. See,
you're right. And that just means that there's more things out there in the world that you can find, you can harvest, you can plant for yourself, you can use in potions. So the world is very vast and very, it's probably one of the most ambitious games that's going to be coming out here soon, outside of
yeah,
Starfield. But
yeah,
I say ambitious because of the IP that it is. It's
yeah,
Harry
and
Potter.
all the yeah, and all the things they do. I just wish this they take that skeleton from from the Hogwarts Legacy.
Hmm.
Come on, Japan. Let's give me a Heroes Academia in that form. Like, stop with these stupid fighting games.
Yeah.
Just give me like that. But that's My Hero Academia. Just
Mm.
you go to school, you have powers, you hang out with your friends, you're trying to be a hero.
Yeah.
Come on, give me something like that.
Yeah.
Just
That would be great.
stop with fighting games. It's like, oh my god, break my soul. And they pay so much for that license that the only thing they could do is just, well, this here is a fighting game.
Yeah.
So even Demon Slayer is like, oh man, give me an open world where I
Yeah.
can hunt these demons and stuff. Just
Yeah.
give me. It's a big IP. You just can make it bigger in the video games. It's just breaks my soul. But anyway, at least we got Harry Potter.
Yeah. And we'll see how they do because, J.K. Rowling, man, she has her hands on all this stuff. So I'm sure that none of this was getting greenlit without her approval. And it just seems
Well, they're
like,
not using her name. You see that in the
yeah, but I just know that she has that
yeah. But,
contract that doesn't,
oh yeah, it's all passes through her hand. But
yeah.
now the studios are like, yeah, we're not gonna use your name.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which is the most
I mean,
asinine
after
thing. It's
you're
it's her IP. Like that's her property. Like
Ellie,
it's,
she's a billionaire,
oh, I
and
get
she's
it.
still making billions. He's like,
Oh,
oh, they don't want my name.
I
Okay,
get
but
it.
they're still gonna pay me billions. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, we're gonna keep you. Yeah, you can name it whatever the sweaty top whatever franchise.
Well,
I don't care.
that brings another point that they were coming out with a game, a Tom Clancy game, which was kind of like a multiplayer.
Yeah,
Um,
Deviant.
Yeah, and they decided to nix the Tom Clancy thing because people on the internet were saying like, "Oh, you're bashing his name. You're bringing out this thing, and you're just kind of, you're name grabbing kind of thing. You're just throwing his
No, no,
name
no,
on
no.
anything." And then they were like,
It's not the
"Okay,
thing. It's the thing is that since Splinter Cell and all these games, they had the Tom Clancy name meant something in video games. It's
mm,
like, oh, you're gonna get something good.
yeah,
And then Ubisoft just took that name and just buried it to the ground
yeah,
and
unfortunately,
kept running it to the ground.
yeah,
And now they're naming Tom Clancy whatever. Like
yeah,
the Muppets Go to New York, Tom Clancy. You know, so they're just like, oh, this people are tired of this name already.
yeah,
I mean, Division doesn't need to be Tom Clancy. He didn't create that IP. it's just, and even Ghost Recon, you don't have to name it Tom Clancy's.
Yeah.
Come on, stop. He's just dead and he's just not
Yeah.
writing anything more.
Yeah. No,
So,
you're
and
right,
they're
but
just using the same formula through games. And it's like, hey, this is like Overwatch, but with Tom Clancy in it.
but their justification for taking off the Tom Clancy name is because they added more characters from different IPs that the company owns, and so they didn't feel right utilizing Tom Clancy's name over it, so they completely changed the name to it. But I kind of see, I understand why they did it because of all the controversy that surrounds JK, and which at the
Yeah, I
end.
saw on the internet people trying to make people feel bad because they're excited about Harry Potter game. Like, oh, like really, really, you're gonna shame people because they like this. They expect this game to be good, and
Yeah,
you're shaming them. Oh, that means you're against these certain people. Like,
yeah.
from where you get that? It's
It's
like
it's crazy, man.
it didn't go anywhere. People were trying. It didn't pop anywhere. There was no traction. Nobody was like, hey, fuck off.
Yeah. No, straight up, dude. Because they tried to cancel her several times. It just doesn't happen. Like, and there's people who adore her universe and still
Yeah.
like put on the gowns every day and put on like, and they have pages dedicated to like
There's a
the
theme park open on the Wizarding World. Come on. It's like
yeah.
people love that franchise. It's just like Marvel, DC, or Disney, It's
Yeah.
just, for me, it's like, hey, how about some new books?
Yeah. Yeah. But I think it's gonna be something spectacular and special for the fans, and it's something that they've been waiting for a very, very, very long time. And
Yes.
they might actually have a home run on their hands here soon.
Yeah.
So we'll see. Only time will tell. Only time will tell. And hopefully with some gameplay footage we'll be able to get a good idea on like the fighting mechanics and things like that.
I hope they do a demo so people can shut up and
Yeah.
people like me just can, okay, this is gonna work.
Yeah. Yeah. Because the red flags are there, the curiosity's there, but the nostalgia is 100% there. So, on to the last little tidbit of news or topics before we wrap this thing up is that Amazon purchased MGM for $8.5 billion. And so they have this humongous catalog of movies now and content. Catalog that stretches as far back as 1920. And so it's like 100 years worth of content that they have. And they got all of that for $8.5 billion, which is not bad. It's a pretty sweet deal. They in that catalog they got the Hobbit movies.
I was in there in the bidding with $100.
Just like, listen, guys, I got this. I got
this.
But they also, on top of the Hobbit trilogy movies that they acquired, which I don't know if that gives them more space and more latitude to work with. I doubt it.
It's right. They have to have the rights.
But they have now the movies there, and then they have the James Bond franchise there as well.
Well, they have half of the James Bond property.
Okay.
Because
they
when
the movies there though.
Well, this James Bond property is pretty weird in Hollywood.
Yeah, it's like
split. The Amazon has they acquired from MGM. They only have the right to finance and distribute James Bond. The other half is with the Broccoli family. They're the original producers of the original James Bond movies, TV, and all that stuff. So it's a brother and sister who have it now, Broccoli family, and they have the rights to produce, write, and create James Bond. And so that's why, and they're pretty strict with that license.
Yeah.
And when Amazon announced they were gonna buy MGM, they were like, "Yeah, we want a James Bond series." We want James Bond cartoon. We want James Bond cooking show. Um, we want everything with
Cooking
James
with
Bond.
love.
Yeah, cooking with love.
And
Where he
tomorrow's
shoots the people who deliver food. They're
tomorrow's
spies.
pastries not promised.
Yeah, and the broccoli family. She one of them said, "Yeah, that's not gonna happen, buddy. You just there's not gonna be a TV show. There's not gonna be an animated show. There's not gonna be nothing of that. There's just gonna be movies." And we say when we make the movies, not you. So
Oof, man,
yeah,
how can Amazon do it so have so much money and do it so wrong? You know, it's like the same thing that happened with the whole Lord of the Rings, you know, thing. They paid all this ridiculous money to get access to this IP, and then they had to pay it again because they lost the rights to it in that 2 year span that they didn't do anything with it. And then on top of that, you pay all this absurd money just so you could get this tiny little bit, this little baby thing, and that you can work with. It's just,
but they didn't buy it because of James Bond. It just gives them an arm for distribution,
yeah.
IPs. There's a lot of stuff they want.
There's a lot of content
that-
there, but
Yeah, and
companies do
arms that
that.
already built, like they already have MGN already has production houses and all that stuff. So that's a lot of knowledge already there
Mhm.
that you can transfer into Amazon, because Amazon's still learning how to produce and do shows alike.
Yeah,
So
but to say that, I mean, like they have industry people there. It's not like
yeah,
they
but
started from the
it's not.
scratch and training people. It's
Yeah, but it
just
doesn't mean that a whole body is ready for that. It's like even Microsoft when they want to buy Activision. Yeah, they want to buy Activision, but they really care about the knowledge that Activision King has and Blizzard on how to hook people into games.
yeah.
Like that's a trade secret. So they want that. They want that knowledge. They're acquiring that knowledge of part of all the IP and all the stuff that Activision has, but they have that.
Mhm.
So
I mean, we'll see. They got a catalog now that they can just start pumping things in there, and
they can move everything from Amazon. Amazon's very clumsy with their stuff.
yeah,
So they kind of get, hey, MGN, you know how to do all this stuff. Now just, you know, produce it and do it.
yeah.
But they're all coming to Amazon Prime. So
So I wonder what that means for the the 6 movies of Lord of the Rings. You know, that have.
nothing.
Okay, good, because I
It's-
said okay, 'cause
They
I-
have the rights for it. I mean, I would love to see an animated series out of it, and you can include a lot of stuff from the books that wasn't included in the movies from the lore and stuff like that.
Mm.
A very good animated show. You put money in there because it's easy to do action scenes and all that stuff.
Are we talking about Lord of the Rings?
Yeah,
Well, they have. So MGM has, because New
I'm
Line.
not talking about that old ass animated show. Don't even mention it.
Oh, those old ones are awesome. Like
Yeah, but
the
do a
Hobbit
new
and
one.
Return. No, I agree, but do they have the license to do that?
I don't. I think they acquired the license, but I think it was included in what they bought from the appendages.
Yeah, because
They don't have the Similarian. They have, I think, whatever the hell the 12 pages or whatever they have from the appendages.
Yeah,
I think they got that, and I think parts of the Hobbit. So I don't know. Maybe the family's like, hey, how about an animated show? Like really well done,
yeah, and
like
just
Dragon Prince or something like. They're doing a animated movie right now. The writers are Rohan.
Amazon is, or they're just this is just kind of like
Yeah, I think they announced. I think it was it Warner Brothers that doing it.
no, I have no idea. 'Cause
Is
this is
the
the first.
writer? Yeah, they announced it last year. I think it's the writers are Rohan. It's in a kind of like a prequel to whatever happened in Rohan. So
Yeah, no, this
a
is the
lot
first.
of a lot of horse running around.
Yeah, a
and
lot of horse shit
killing
too.
people. Yeah. So I don't know. Just
It'd be interesting if they do something creative like that. Like I'd be down to watch another animated Lord of the Rings thing, but just like well polished, and they can have a little bit more latitude with it and do different things, and maybe make it, instead of PG, make it a little bit more adult, where you see just
I mean, even even Star Wars. I would do the original trilogy in animated style. Give me those anime studio and hey, make this cool.
Yeah, that would be fun. Like a
Yes, you're
retelling of
grabbing a
it.
new
Yeah,
audience. It's
yeah,
like you're grabbing a new audience that maybe didn't saw the original movies and are more interested in the animated stuff.
yeah. There's
It's like
potential there.
the hate from from Avatar. You have like 3 seasons for each of the for the movies.
Yeah,
Like one season for each movie and stuff.
yeah, that could work. You know, each season is because since there's
I
it,
don't hope it's a whole season. Let's say like
yeah,
10 something.
or you could just consolidate all three movies into seasons. So like the first three episodes, 1, 2, 3 is one season. Episode
Yeah, but
4 through 6
yeah,
is another one.
if you, let's say New Hope, you can add a lot of stuff in the middle that maybe is legends or new canon. You can add it there, and
Yeah, it's just
what happened
there's
after New Hope.
yeah, it's just it's a lot. That is a lot to like if you're breaking down each movie into a separate season, you have so much things you got to fill. But if you break
Yeah,
down all three episodes, all three movies into one season, then you have a solid through line and less to fill, you know.
yeah,
But you kind of because you can do so much.
yeah. But remember, Luke changes constantly from film to film. He gets more power for each film. So
True. So that's that in the season you could see him progress and stuff like that. It doesn't what maybe 13 episodes, 14 episodes, 16 to tell the whole all three movies or something like that, and you
or
could see
like
his
Dragon
progression.
Prince, you could do like Dragon Princess Saga and
Yeah, but
or Avatar and Korra. Each season has a theme like so air, water, whatever.
hmm then that means maybe the seasons are shorter.
Yeah,
They're not that long. They're probably like 10 episodes or something like that.
and you
Breaking
don't
down.
need the original cast to do voicing and stuff like that.
No,
So
you could still depict the original cast. You can still have their likeness in there and
not
stuff.
necessarily. You can redesign them, just making like animated versions of them.
Well, that's what
You
I'm
don't have to
saying.
like, you know,
Exactly. Like it could have their likeness. It doesn't have to be like spot on. Like you've seen
yeah,
them take liberties with a bunch of these characters in other animated series, and they have some likeness to them, but it's just not like accurate. You're like, oh,
yeah.
you know. So, but yeah, ladies and gentlemen, I think that's gonna do it for us here. Primo, is there anything that you're excited? Maybe you want to reconsider the Sonic the Hedgehog. Watching that,
No,
you probably
I'm gonna continue on Sonic. Hate, not hate, just like baffling to me that it has fans.
um
Um, so no, I don't have anything. Man, I'm just waiting for Better Call Saul last season and Ozark the last part.
yeah.
That's one reason I'm living still. So,
Jesus.
just
Well, let's pray and hope that there's another show out there after those that just
yeah,
keeps you wanting to stay in this
yeah. There's
plane.
always something else. I have Moon Knight is coming out on
Oh, that's right, Moon Knight. Yeah, and Halo's coming out. Halo's coming out here soon too. Like that's I'm stoked
I'm
about
not
that.
too I'm not too hyped about that.
I'm pretty stoked.
Paramount Plus. They're dealing with Star Trek, so
Yeah,
I don't
Star Trek
know.
has been Star Trek
Yeah,
Discovery has
I don't.
been a big old pile of dookie.
Yeah,
Visually stunning show. I've seen it has some like movie quality stuff, but the story is just so bleh. And they hide it so well underneath all this visually stunning stuff. So that's why they poured money into that because it's like movie quality, A grade stuff. But God bless that story. It's just caca. It's just so bad. Um, I watched like the first episode and then some episodes in between, like a couple seasons and stuff like that. And yeah, I
you lasted
just
more than me. I lasted only one season. I was like, oh, this is over.
well, you've watched more than I have because I've seen the first episode of the first season,
I don't
and
think I
then
finished the first season. I watched the first half of the
oh, okay.
first.
I've only watched a couple
Uh,
episodes of like each individual season that's come out. I think there's four, and they just wrapped up the last season. And
yeah,
it's
it was
just
pretty dumb.
yeah.
Hey, mushrooms gives us a new neural. Like you're like, oh my god.
Don't need mushroom peoples.
Yeah.
Although I do love mushrooms on my omelet. I do love mushrooms.
Anyway,
yeah.
you were ending the show?
Yeah. Yeah. Ladies and gents, thank you so much for watching. Let us know in the comments down below what you guys are watching. If there's anything you guys want us to watch, write it down there and we might watch it and talk about it here on the show. But from all of us, to all you beautiful people, much love, and God bless. So peace out. Bye.